Good morning, friends. Welcome to the session 5 of Resiliency 4J Library. Thank you for watching my previous videos. In this session, we are going to focus on Resiliency 4J circuit breaker pattern. What if you have seen my previous video, which I also demonstrate the circuit breaker pattern. But in this video, we are going to focus on how do you prevent slowness, cascading of slowness from one microservice to another microservice. If you have seen my previous videos, how do you prevent the cascading of errors? Okay, like B microservice is generating error, and you want to prevent those errors to happen so that the entire microservices become fault tolerant. So in this session, we primarily focus on slowness. So for example, if B microservice is experiencing slowness, because of that B microservice entire application, because your application consists of multiple microservices, right? So your entire application response shouldn't become slow. This is one of the important pattern, and this can be easily achieved with resiliency 4J library. So you know what is a cascading, right? So for example, there are three microservices: microservice 0, 1, 2. 0 calls 1, 1 calls 2. For example, for some reason microservice 2 is experiencing slowness, then that slowness shouldn't go back, cascade back to 0 or to the client. So further client is calling 0. So like that, it shouldn't cascade whether the southbound or northbound, whether the upstream or the downstream. So to do this, there is a very good library called circuit breaker module in resiliency 4J library, which can help us to achieve this. So if you watch my previous video, right, you might feel this video is like a reiteration of the same. So it will be a little bit lengthy for you. You can just pause on and understand the configurations. So it's like the resiliency 4J circuit breaker library behaves same whether it is for error or whether it is for slowness. So in previous sessions, we have seen that using retry pattern, how can you make the microservice fault tolerant? How can you use circuit breaker error mechanism to make fault tolerant? Here we primarily focus on performance. Performance is the key. So for example, the microservice B is performing poor. How can you overcome that? Okay, that is what we are going to treat. So in this example, I have two microservices as usual. B microservice is like every call to microservice takes less than 1 millisecond or 2 milliseconds. But randomly 50% of the calls to B microservice takes 2 seconds. So which is a lot. So the B microservice 50% of the calls takes more than 2 seconds. But that's not the good behavior. I want whole system to respond within a millisecond. So to achieve that, we can use circuit breaker pattern. Okay, if you guess it right. So here the rule for my circuit breaker to become an open state is the slowness. Okay, if you didn't watch my previous video, I'll just quickly recap. So what is a circuit breaker? Okay, if you think about electrical circuit, right, it's a right analogy. So the electricity pass through circuit. When a circuit is in a closed state, then the electricity doesn't like the electricity doesn't pass. Sorry, if the circuit is in a closed state, okay, then the electricity pass to it. Then when the circuit is in an open state, the electricity doesn't pass to it. For example, when A is calling B, when the circuit is in a closed state, then the calls from A to B passes very easily. When the circuit is in an open state, then the calls doesn't pass through. Then the calls doesn't from A to B go. Okay, let me explain you on a whiteboard. It's a lot simpler to understand instead of explaining over the hands. So if you watch my previous video, you will understand I dwelt that in very depth. Here I'll just go through an overview, various states of circuit breaker and stuff. So because I'm not going to focus on various states of circuit breaker, I just go very quickly a high level overview. What is a fault tolerant? You know that, okay? So the entire collection of microservices needs to be tolerant of faults that are happening. So that's what a more resilient system you want to build, right? If something goes wrong, it needs to be robust. So what is a circuit breaker? It's a pattern. It's a simple pattern. Similarly, like your retry or other patterns, rate limit or other patterns which you have seen. This is one of the good pattern. Why do you need circuit breaker? Okay, sometimes one of your microservices is in a slow, it's not performing well, then you shouldn't send more calls and degrade the performance further, right? Like if B microservice is having some issue, so you shouldn't trouble that microservice further. Instead of returning the data from cache makes your whole system perfect, right? For example, A is calling B and B is having an issue. Instead of repeatedly calling B, if you free B for some time, it recovers, then it can accept further calls. So that can be easily achieved with this circuit breaker pattern. Okay, let me go into the whiteboard. So as usual, this entire session is documented in my GitHub. You can go to circuit breaker slow calls. This is more likely like circuit breaker error calls. If you watch my previous video, I think there is a subtle difference between that and this, which I'm going to explain. So which is well documented. You get all the steps, you can play with it and you can understand. Here in this session, we mainly focus on the performance. Okay, so I mean, how can you poorly performing API shouldn't impact the entire landscape of microservice? That is what we are going to focus. So let me jump on to whiteboard. Let me create one. So I have a microservice is calling B. This is a very standard, right? A calls B. For some reason, B is poor performance. B is having poor performance. Like it is taking call 2 seconds to respond. My behavior is it should take 2 milliseconds. So I expect this is taking 2 seconds to respond, which is very bad. The B responding, taking 2 seconds to respond a call. Then that will impact the other microservices which is depend upon B. Like it can be a client, it can be someone. Okay, so client is calling A is good, but because of B, that whole A is also experiencing a slowness. So to overcome that, what happens is when a particular threshold, like what I'm saying is, so if the microservice didn't respond to me in 10 milliseconds, I won't send calls to it and I'll return the response from cache. So pay attention to this. So A calls B, okay, if call is taking more than 10 milliseconds, which I said 2 milliseconds is not a natural behavior. If it is taking 10 milliseconds, what I'll do is I have to return from the cache instead of calling B and troubling it further, so that you make more and more calls, it can go further poor performance. It can become further poor. To achieve this is if you want to code in your application here, right? It's very tough to do that. Instead of that, if you use an external library like circuit breaker, right? So that is lot is easier. So this functionality, you get it as an aspect to your API. So you really don't code, you just code on the business logic. The circuit breaker pattern comes to you as free. Okay, let us understand what happens is A, then we call circuit breaker, then there will be a circuit breaker and there will be a B. So currently the circuit, then if the circuit breaker is in close, right? So when it is in closed state, currently this is in close. So when it is in closed state, the calls from A goes to B. But now let us see if it is in open. So if it is in open state, like if it is in open state, then the call from A doesn't go to B. So that is what you understand. You understood two states, right? Close and close and open. So when one open state, no calls, and when in closed state, calls flow. That is what. So the currently it is in open state, like the call from A doesn't go to B, and you need to have a fallback. When call is not going from A to B, you need to have a fallback method which responds. That is what I meant by cache. Okay, I read my fallback method. What it will do is read data from cache and send it to the client instead of calling B. But there should be a way for once again the circuit to become closed, right? So that's all we all see when I explain you the configurations. There are 3 states in this circuit breaker which you need to understand. Okay, let me walk you through the state diagram. So pay attention to this single thing, you will understand very easily. So a circuit breaker has an open state, then there is a half open, then there is a closed. As I said, right, circuit breaker is like your electrical circuit. You can treat it in a same analogy. When circuit is closed, okay, then the current pass through it. When the circuit is open, the current doesn't pass through it. So the current doesn't pass through it means doesn't pass to the destination. When a circuit is enclosed, the current passes to the destination. Destination is B. When a circuit is open, then the current doesn't pass to destination. So that is mean by open. So like now what happens is like I'll share you the configurations, then you will understand. So these are the configurations which you need to pay an attention to. So mainly I'm using sliding window type. So for example, if A is calling B, I want to say what is my criteria for slowness. So I'll say that A is calling B, my criteria for slowness is greater than 10 milliseconds. If the call duration is greater than 10 milliseconds, I ask it as a treat it as a slow call. That's well and good. That rule is very good. So if A is calling B, if it is taking more than 10 milliseconds, I'll say it's a slow call. Slow call rate is 50. I'll say if the 50% of my calls are slow, okay, then open the circuit. Okay, if the 50% of my calls are slow, then open the circuit. You got it, right? Now, how do you compute that 50%? How do you compute that 50%? That there comes this window type. So here I'm saying my window type is count based. Count based I can easily reproduce and show it. You can have time based also. There are 2 types of window type. One is time based, and the one is a count based. Count based is out of 10 calls, okay, if 5 calls are taking 5 calls are slow calls, okay, 5 calls are taking more than 10 milliseconds, then I consider my 50% ratio is met, okay, and I open the circuit. That's well and good, right? So out of 10 calls, if 5 calls are slow, then 50% of the calls are slow, then open my circuit. So that is what I said, slow call rate threshold is 50. But there is one more configuration here. I'll say minimum number of calls is 5. So when should I start computing is, I don't compute the slowness, or I don't consider the slowness until the 5 calls comes. So I said my window is 10. Okay, first call comes, it's slow. Second call comes, it's slow. Third call comes, it's slow. Fourth call comes, slow, it's slow. Fifth call comes, then it computes. Okay, now from fifth call I start considering the whole computation. Like 1 to 5 calls, if 3 calls are more than 10 milliseconds, then the circuit starts opening. The circuit opens. So that is what you need to understand. Minimum number of calls to compute the threshold is 5. So when I need to wait till 5 calls to come, and to come means to come and respond both, okay. So I wait till my 5 calls to come and compute it, okay. If out of 5 calls, if 3 calls are greater than 10 milliseconds, the circuit opens. If 2 calls are greater than 10 milliseconds, that's fine, right? Out of 2 means 40%. My circuit breaker rule doesn't apply there, okay. So then the circuit will be still in a closed state. Okay, so now you understood the minimum number of calls, then window size and window type. Now one more state we have is like half open state. Okay, when circuit breaker is in closed state, right? Now circuit breaker is in a when now the circuit breaker is in an open state. When the circuit breaker is in an open state, you have to say when it should close. There are two criteria here. Okay, you can ask circuit breaker to close after certain interval. I can say that after 5 seconds you can close. Okay, I feel that B microservice will recover, and after 5 seconds you can close. Then call go from A to B. That's not the only condition. There is a half state. Okay, half open state. So instead of completely closing, make it half open and allow only 3 calls. Out of these 3 calls, 50% of the calls are experiencing slowness. Once again, you go to open state. So this is what a half open state. In a half open state, I'll say 3 calls ULI. If the 3 calls are taking less than 10 milliseconds, then completely close the circuit so that you feel that the service B is recovered and it's good to accept all the calls. So that's what the states here. Okay, so the 3 states here: open, half open, and closed. Okay, so what I said is, so if if 50% of the calls, like, now I'll explain you that flow. Okay, when it is open, when it goes to closed state. Okay, it is in open state now. So sorry, I think I was having some issue with my pen. So I don't know what happened. Okay, so now the circuit is in open state. It goes to half open. When it will goes to half open, it will go after your wait duration. I said after 5 seconds it goes to half. After 5 seconds it goes to half open. And what it will do is it will try for 3 calls. Okay, so it will do 3 attempts. 3 attempts means it sends 3 calls to the service B. Okay, out of that 3 calls, if 2 calls are taking more time, right, then failure. So like my rule is fail, right? My 50% rule is fail. Like 2% out of 3 means it's like 9, 70, 60%. Okay, so 2 calls out of 3 is taking more time, so then it's fail. Now let us take 2 calls are taking less than 10 milliseconds, so it's fast. So then I can go to, and half open success, my rule is success, then it goes to closed state. So now you understood, right? What is half open? In half open state, it will send the minimum configured calls and calculate the error rate. If error rate is more than threshold, then it will go to open state. If error rate is less than threshold, it goes to closed state. Then you read the documentation, you will understand. I shouldn't iterate further. Okay, I hope you get onto it. Okay, so that is how the slowness here, the whole concept is around slowness, not the errors. Okay, that you need to understand. So let me get back you to the code, or before getting onto the code, let us play with the example. So now you can clone my repository, resiliency for Java 1, and there is a circuit breaker slow calls. Okay, you can go to that folder. Then as usual, maven clean install. I don't have artifacts in the repository. Then I cleaned it. Then let us start the service A. Okay, so I'm starting the service A, and I'm also starting the service B. 2 services are up. Let me send some 20 calls to service B and show that it is taking more time. Okay, which is impacting. So I have a JMeter script. JMeter script is very good utility to do performance test and good visualization you can do. people can play with curl or Apache benchmark, that is fine, but I prefer JMeter for this demonstration. So let me disable this and enable this script. So circuit breaker so calls service B, which is nothing, no one directly calls service B, but I just want to show for demonstration. So I said I'm making 20 calls to service B. I'll see what is the performance rate. Okay, so if I run, so the calls are getting called and service B is getting invoked, and it is, and if you see view result, the calls are served, and summary report, if you're seeing, it's happening now, the whole all calls, 17 calls, 20. Now the 20 calls got finished. On average it took 1 second, but I need the average is like very short. Okay, within a short span, that should, the whole thing should be finished. So the minimum is like, see, minimum is 1 and maximum is 2 seconds. One few calls took 2 seconds, but minimum is like 1 millisecond. So the minimum is 1 millisecond and the maximum is 2000 milliseconds, which is nothing but 2 seconds. The standard deviation is of 1 second. Like you got it right, 2 standard deviation or 3 standard deviation is outlier. Okay, that we won't go, but what I'm trying to say is the performance is dropped out. On a whole, the B is performing really bad. Though minimum is 1 millisecond, it has to respond within 1 millisecond. But some calls are taking 2000 milliseconds and an average is like performing very poor. That will impact definitely A. A is calling B, right? Now let us check what happens in terms of A. So I'm disabling this and I'm enabling A. Clear the result. So now I'm calling the service A and playing. View results in tree. So summary report, you can see that the average is now became 219 milliseconds. Earlier the B on average is took 1100 milliseconds. It became to 200.2 milliseconds, then 1.1 milliseconds. So there is an improvement in the performance, right? So how that was achieved? Because of circuit breaker pattern. What we did is, like, when B is performing poor, I don't call B. I'll give data from the cache. So if you want to code this, it's really complex thing. So it's, you can easily get that with this circuit breaker library. So if I demonstrate, if I show you, right? So service A, the circuit became open. So no further calls are accepted. When circuit is open, it won't send any calls to B. But what it will do is it will take from the cache and returns to the customer, okay, or returns to the calling. So A, when circuit is open, A calls the callback method, which is taking from cache and serving. It won't call B. It won't disturb further B and reduce the performance of B. I'll walk you through the code. This one you got it well. You know the configuration. One important difference which you need to know is like the callback methods. So here we don't have an exception. If you have exception, this will get, this is the callback method which is going to be get called when circuit is open. When circuit is open, I need to take it from the cache and send. So this is my cache variable. I'm sending it from cache. So keep in mind, when circuit is open, these methods are not going to get called. B is not going to get called. That one difference you want to understand. When circuit is in open, this method is not going to get called, and the fallback method is going to get called with this exception, and fallback method returns from the cache. So that you're not further disturbing B. This entire functionality can be achieved with the circuit breaker annotation and simple. So, and this is the configurations. And if you go to POM, right, POM.xml, you need to have a Spring Boot resiliency for the Spring Boot. It's suppose Spring Boot. You need to have actuator because metrics are collected. So in my next session, I'm going to show you how circuit breaker events are tracked using Prometheus and Grafana. That's most important. Okay, what's happening with your application, you need to know. Then AOP. Okay, so this comes as an aspect to the function because you don't really code, right? So it's like your function is there, you would just add an aspect towards it. Okay, so this is an aspect, right? The circuit breaker is one aspect, so give additional functionality or a decorator or on top of it. So that's good. We improved the performance of the microservice to response time averaged out to 219 seconds instead of, sorry, 219 milliseconds instead of 1100 milliseconds. I think that's what time I tend to cover in this session. So sliding window type, minimum number of calls. Yeah, you got everything well. So the same thing like error, but we just have to do this. So if you know how to handle errors, then you can handle slow call rate with these two configurations, so call rate and slow call duration. So, and this is my circuit breaker name, and it is like extending from the default. Okay, this is my configurations for road threshold. Okay, I think you understood the circuit breaker. If you have any questions, just drop me a note. Thank you for watching.